Oh, okay. All right. Hey guys, it's me. So yeah. All right. So tonight on my live station, we're live tonight, and I am dealing with issues that have to do with removing. Hey, Republican Ash. Hey, Kevin. How are you? I'm good. I'm dealing with the same issues about removing chains of childhood abuse. I'm dealing with the same issues that have to do with bullying and things of that nature. But I wanted to talk to you about go look in your Instagram message. Oh, I don't know how to do that right now, but I'll look on it later. I promise. I definitely will. I'll ask my sister. My sister's still here, and I'll find out. My phone is gonna die, but I just want to say hi. I wanted to talk to you guys. I wanted to read this girl's story to you because I remember reading this girl's story, and it's really really interesting. She she her name is it says I will help you, and it's by E. White, and it says I was only 5 when it began, just a child. I was an expensive, busy yet serious little girl who loved to laugh and sing around the house. To him, I was just a somebody. I was just somebody to, uh, just somebody of his sickest circumstance. He always had his eyes on me and the incidents, as I refer to them now, became routine, so routine that I thought it was normal. He touched me every opportunity he had. He didn't care the time of day or who was home. All he needed was a 5 minute window, and he took advantage. I always felt so dirty afterwards that I would shower with Brillo pad until my skin was red and painful. That was the part that really like scared me when I heard that girl when, when I heard what that girl said. She said that she showered with Brillo pad until her skin was red and painful. Apparently she had been like touched and fondled or molested, I guess, by her father, whoever this guy was, and she was showering with Brillo pad. It was just seemed so painful, and I just hate that like these people are going into like all of these things, all of these like I guess these people are like going into like they're like these things are happening to them in their lives, and that was the worst part of it for me because I knew that, this. She goes on to say that she knew that it was wrong, and but she never told anybody, and that she kept it a secret, and she knew that it was her duty to keep quiet, or she was duped or something, and then on her ninth birthday she finally told, and he didn't even deny it. He begs for forgiveness. He didn't even no he didn't beg for forgiveness. But apparently the family only separated them, believed continued with Sunday dinners and big family functions as if nothing ever happened. It was like they locked it up in a box of things that never happened, and that happens a lot. People like feel like um, and it says right here, it says, and I like everyone else threw away the key and believed that lie. Right, they believe that it's okay just to throw everything in this, like throw the dirt under the rug or something like that. In her mid 20s, she struggled with relationships from painful memories. I never brought it up because he I know he's loved, a father, a husband, and an uncle, a grandfather. The idea of tainting his reputation is just too much for me to bear. And that's really, really, really hard for us to do in our family relationships, is like, I believe, is to like go behind somebody else's back and like say, you hurt me, you know, how could you do this? You were wrong, I was innocent, and expect something to be, expect somebody to do anything about it, really, you know. And that's a bitter, that's bitter for a lot of people. But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, you know. So I've been carrying that burden around for a long time until now. I don't proclaim to be a doctor or a psychologist yet. I can, but a continuous survivor of the illness of just another ravaged, another that has ravaged my life and adversely affected me. Yes, I took critical steps with counselors, God, and finally within myself to heal. At a crossroads in my life now, I still have unanswered questions, and I frantically want to understand how my childhood sexual abuse has affected my adulthood. What happened in the house for all those years was a violation of my innocent mind, body, and spirit. How do I move on? How do I erase the painful memories that constantly come back to haunt me? Things that I never knew suppressed so far back in my memory and are easily triggered by smells, TV theme songs from the 90s, and even patterns on fabric. That for me is true too. When she talks about um, things coming, how do I erase painful memories that constantly come back? I tend to have that problem. Like when I hear about something or see something, or yeah, like when she talks about a 90s thing, like when she said 90s, that triggered a response by me because I was, in a child pornography in the 90s. So, you know, if everything was hunky dory in the 90s for me growing up, and if I was 17, 18, 19, you know, and even younger in the 90s, and everything was fine, then I wouldn't have these problems that I have now dealing with, you know, the sexual abuse. In times, my psychologist was able to bring out the suffer pain that was disguised as silence. For years, I put off writing about how I felt because of the shame of shaming my mother, my aunt, my sisters, my children, and my family. Yet I wake up this morning and realize at age 49 years old that it is it's a subtle silent secret of silence. I believe that too. That silence equals death. Whether you're talking whatever illness you're talking about, it's definitely the case. Silence does equal death. For a person who has been sexually abused, I always heard what happens in our house stays in our house, and we don't talk about these things. I don't want my children to inherit the lies that have internalized and not share them with what may happen to them. I believe that most families don't talk about sex, let alone sexual abuse. Why have I chosen to speak now? How can I help others? I know what it's like to spend years trying to heal, and the frustration that comes when it seems nothing you are doing is helping. If you have tried everything and haven't been able from the pain of abuse, move on with your life and be the person you were meant to be. I've written this guide to help those who I was once like through my own experiences. I be then it says bullet point be retrained your brain to finally end the emotional roller coaster of feeling good one day at a miserable and miserable the next. by letting go of shame, guilt, and any belief that abuse was your fault, by breaking down the walls that keep you from connecting with others, by releasing bottled up emotions like anger, anxiety, sadness, and the fear of abandonment, by gaining self confidence so you no longer sacrifice yourself or your desires, by learning how to set boundaries, enjoy intimate relationships, and trust again. By finally connecting with your genuine, authentic self. That's all she wrote for the first one. The next one's going to be on surviving child abuse and poverty by Carl Ailing. So that was the first one. Or somebody named it was called "I Will Help" by E. White, and it's by a book called "Removing Chains of Child Abuse." So like and share with any of your friends who are suffering suffering from or suffering anybody who's suffering from child abuse, anybody who can gain anything out of this. I mean, when you talk about people who showered with Brillo pad until their skin was red and painful, and you know who was a little girls who did this, like, that's so sad. I mean, it tugs at your heartstrings. Those are the things that tug at your heartstrings, and it's like you just want to pray for them, and you just want to be there for those types of people. I mean, look at the pictures on this book. You see children, you see youngsters, you see people on this book that really you really want to reach out to, you really want to help, but really it almost looks like there's a wall. There's almost like a wall that you really can't do anything for them. They've been molested, they've been abused, and it's like they've been broken, and it's like it's just too bad. But they can help themselves. Reaching out is to find out about this book, which is removing chains of childhood abuse, child abuse. It's a workshop book, and they can find out more about that, and they can find out how they can get their story out there, and go online and research different things and find out if anybody's hurting in that way. They can find out who can help them. And so there's a lot of different people that are out to help them. Get in touch with some legal advice, and never let that happen to you. There's a lot of people in this book. I've read this whole book trying to find different ways to get out of this horrible situation, because there is a way out. They don't have to feel trapped every day. They don't have to feel that silence that she was talking about before. So good luck to you guys out there in TV land and YouTube land, and I'll be praying for you guys. Keep your heads up, and like I said, tomorrow will be based on forward right now. I'm a little bit over 15 minutes. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. So I'll talk to you guys later. Ciao. Thanks. Bye.